Why am I not worried about West Virginia football in 2022? Well, let me explain. What's going on, everybody? It's me again, Golden Blue Dude, back with another video just for you. So if you're a college football or a college basketball fan, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. That's all we do here every single day. We also have a Patreon page, a merchandise store, a great website, and you can support Golden Blue Dude through PayPal right now. Every donation will go towards getting me a P.O. box, so you can send a mini helmet of your favorite team so that I can display it forever in my background. So yes, I do videos on all the teams in college football and college basketball, but today is going to be a West Virginia video. So for those of you who are not a West Virginia subscriber, you are more than welcome to stick around. I'm just giving you a heads up. Yeah, a lot of people were asking me, why are you not worried about West Virginia football in 2022? We had a lot of people leave the team via the transfer portal. Some of them starters. Yeah, I get that, but starters from a not so good team and starters that came from the Dana Holgerson recruiting era. It's actually a good thing. Neil Brown's starting to get his guys in here. So here are the names you need to look for in 2022, where we're going to be better at, where we might be the same, and where we might actually be a tad worse in 2022. First up, the offense. I'm extremely excited about the offense. Main reason is Graham Harrell. That was a home run hire for West Virginia. You're going to see a much more explosive offense in 2022. First and foremost, we have a great quarterback battle going on. Spring practice is ongoing. I'm hearing great things about Garrett Green, wondering where this guy came from because he didn't look all that great last year. He's looking much more explosive this year in spring practice. Graham Harrell also singing the praises of Will Crowder. We've almost forgot about Will Crowder. He's been an afterthought. But Graham Harrell thinks he can use Will Crowder. Finally, incoming phenom freshman Nico Markle doing what we thought he would do, throwing some dimes, including the pass of the day, that 55-yard corner out route. It was beautiful. But there's also the JT Daniels aspect. He is in Morgantown right now as we speak. We could grab JT Daniels as well. So a very interesting, much needed quarterback battle going on in Morgantown right now. And I do think we'll use the tight ends more often this year as well. I like Mike O'Loughlin and Brian Pollindy to lead the way for the tight ends. Great blockers, but I think we're going to see some mesh routes and some crossing routes from these tight ends to open up the middle of opposing defenses. Running back situation, honestly, I think our running back situation is better than what it was last year. Yes, we lost Letty Brown, but in comes Lynn J. Dixon from Clemson, who is much quicker than Letty Brown. In fact, I've heard that at the NFL Combine, Letty Brown was the slowest running back there was. Lynn J. Dixon much quicker than him. In fact, Letty Brown ran a 4.740. Lynn J. Dixon ran a 4.440. So that tells you the difference there. We also have incoming four-star Jalen Anderson. And do not forget about Tony Mathis. He has excellent experience, and he looked like he was getting better and better as the season wore on. People have been a little bit concerned about the wide receiver position because we did have a few enter the transfer portal. Not really worried about that. I think the two main go-to guys will be Bryce Ford-Wheaton and Caden Prather. He's the guy that I think will have a breakout year in 2022. But don't forget about Sam James, four-star Gerald Williams. He could be the go-to guy as well, developing right alongside Caden Prather. And don't forget about Reese Smith. He's a good first-down wide receiver. I think they'll stick him in the slot. He'll be the guy they go to pick out the gaps in the zone defenses. I've heard a lot of people talk about our offensive line and how they are concerned with our offensive line because it didn't look all that great. Well, if you go back and look at last year, after the bye week, they actually looked better and better and better. And all those guys come back this year. Wyatt Millam will lead the way, but don't forget about Zach Frazier, Doug Nestor, James Minter, Brandon Yates, and Jordan White. I think he'll make his way into the rotation. And that's another good thing about Graham Harrell. He's good at designing plays to disguise weaknesses. So if there are any issues on the offensive line, at least starting out in the season, he'll design plays away from the weakness. So all in all, I think our offense will actually take a pretty significant step forward in 2022. What about the defense? It's been solid. Could it take a step back? Maybe in certain areas, but if that does happen, it's not going to be a massive, noticeable step back. First up, the D-line. Could be one of the best in the Big 12. Great rotation here. Dante Steele's coming back for his last season. Kind of surprised a few people. I like the pickup of Zequah Lawton. Akeem Mesidor has been a force. I also like Austin Burton, Jefferson, and Thornton. Great rotation there, led by Steele's, Lawton, and Mesidor. I think we'll get a lot of pressure on opposing quarterbacks and stuff that run. Linebacking position, well, it's a little thin, but we do have a lot of talent there. The leader will be Lance Dixon. Make no mistake about that. He will be the leader of the linebacking core. But you also have Jarrett Bartlett, Lee Cogba, and X-Ray Lowe. So that's a nice little linebacking core we have going on. Now, I do expect West Virginia to pick up some more linebackers through the transfer portal once the spring games are over. Why do I say that? Well, Neil Brown directly addressed that in a press conference a couple weeks ago. So that for sure is a plan in place that Neil Brown has. Going out, getting some more depth for that linebacking core. On over to the cornerback position. This is where people are really stressing. Oh, Daryl Porter, he went into the transfer portal. Jackie Matthews, he went to the transfer portal. Nick Troy Fortune, he went to the transfer portal. That's fine. I know. They were starters. But when Nick Troy Fortune got injured, Charles Woods came in, and he was actually a better cornerback. We also have incoming Jacoby Spells and Mumu Benwanhad. Trust me, they can start on day one. They are very athletic and very quick. That's the main key. Very, very quick. Don't forget about Marcus Floyd, who we got from Murray State All-American. And I like incoming Tyron Woodby. I think he'll definitely make his way into the rotation. Safety is where we're going to be a little bit young. So if there is a weakness on the defense, it will be at safety. But I don't think it'll be a glaring weakness. I'm very excited about Christian Stokes. I think he's a great recruit. He could end up being a starter on day one and work his way into being a force to be reckoned with by the end of the season. I also like St. McLeod, he's got some good experience. We got Malachi Ruffin coming back, Avery Wilcox, Hershey McLaurin. Keep your eyes on that dude. And Latrell Bradley. So they're very young, but very talented. So if there is a weakness on the defense, it might be at the safety position, but there's talent there, and it'll be developed throughout the season. Defense hasn't been an issue at all. I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying if there is a weakness, it will be at the safety position. But then again, the reason I'm not worried about the safety position is because Jordan Leslie has proven he is able to develop those safeties. But I think those leaders at the linebacking core will help with that as well. I also like that we picked the Australian punter Oliver Straw. The punting game has been a little bit of an issue coverage. Neil Brown has come out and said he's going to work with the special teams now that he's handed over the offensive reins over to Graham Harrell. An interesting battle that people are not talking about is who is going to return the kicks and who is going to return the punts. That's been an issue. That's why Neil Brown is working with the special teams now that he's let go of the reins of the offense. And I think you should keep your eyes on Mumu Benwanhad. I know he's an incoming freshman, but the dude is super quick, has great recovery speed on the defense. Lynjay Dixon could be an option. Dude is very, very quick, can make quick cuts. Of course, Bryce Ford Wheaton has experience back there returning punts and kicks, so he could be back there. I think if Sam James gains some confidence with his catching, he could be a returner. And even Charles Woods and Christian Stokes, those two are some very quick guys right there. So I do think we'll see an improvement on the special teams this year as well. All in all, West Virginia's headed in the right direction. I mean, this is Neil Brown's 4th year. Y'all got to keep that in mind. This is his first recruiting cycle that he's gotten into West Virginia. And we did make 2 bowls in the last 2 years. I know 6-4 and 6-7, not the records you really want, but maybe we had expectations that were too high last year. Myself included. I believe this year is the year that West Virginia takes the Neil Brown jump. So defense will be solid. Secondary might take a little bit of time to develop, but it'll be fine. And the offense will take a massive step forward this year. And that's why I'm not worried about West Virginia football in 2022. And I know 2 of those first 4 games, they're going to be tough. On the road to Pitt and on the road to Virginia Tech. But if we can at least split those, and I think West Virginia is capable of winning both of those, but if we can split those, that's a great start to the season. And don't forget that first game at Pitt. Yes, they got transfer Keaton Slovis. But do you know who worked directly with Keaton Slovis? Graham Harrell. So he knows his tendencies, his weakness, and his strengths. So that's another advantage that West Virginia will have at the Pitt game. And I know it's a road game, but Pitt cannot fill up that stadium. Even when Clemson came to town last year, they were not able to fill it. I think they were like 10,000 under capacity. Trust me, West Virginia fans will make sure that stadium is full. And West Virginia fans, of course, are louder than Pitt fans. So it could turn into a home game for West Virginia. You never know. Let me tell you something. West Virginia fans, including myself, have high expectations, and that is perfectly fine. But what you have to understand whenever a coach is coming into a situation that Neil Brown came into, left with a bare cupboard from Dana Holgorsen, it's going to take time to rebuild it. So these first 3 years were basically get-through years. Not only did we get through them, but we got to a couple of bowls. Now, the last 2 years, Did they meet West Virginia expectations? Absolutely not. But they weren't meant to. They were our get-through-it years. And somehow he still got us to a bowl in the get-through-it years. This is the year where we start moving past the get-through-it years. I fully expect an 8-4 or a 9-3 season this year, with an outside shot of a 10-win season. So let me know in the comments section, whether you're a West Virginia fan or whether you're not, how do you feel about West Virginia football in 2022? And if you were nervous before this video, did this help you out? I try to listen to everybody's comments. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.